This is how to completely ruin your financial life. I have a lot of exciting ideas to get your finances moving in the wrong direction. So let's get started. The first and most important principle that you need to understand is to spend more money than you earn. This is crucial because once you understand this concept and implement it into your life, the other ideas in this video will be so much easier to achieve. Now, the great thing is that in America, no matter how much money you earn, you can easily spend it all and then some. And the way you can do this is by taking on debt. Debt will allow you to sustain an overinflated lifestyle for many years. You can take on debt, even high interest debt, with no real plan to pay it back. This is why debt is a fantastic tool, and it's so convenient. For big purchases on things like houses, vehicles, and college education, take out giant loans with interest and pay them back slowly over years and decades. But even for smaller everyday purchases, you can use credit cards. That's right, it shouldn't be too hard to get approved for a few credit cards at a 25% interest rate or more. That way, you can load up your daily purchases onto these cards and when they come due, make only the minimum payments. Or if you don't have the money to make even the minimum payment that month, no biggie, just skip it and maybe pay it later when you can. And the best part of recklessly using credit cards, some of them actually pay you back a cash reward of like 1.5%, which will make you feel warm and fuzzy about spending so much money. So take on all kinds of debt and overextend yourself whenever you get a chance. This way, you can get into a cycle of debt that will really be hard to break. Next, it's important to have no idea how much you're spending or what your net worth is. It's probably negative anyway. You don't want to know and you don't need to know. So don't track it and don't create any kind of a budget either. And certainly don't track your spending with an app, a spreadsheet, or even a piece of paper. That's such a waste of time. Turn a blind eye and ignore how much you're spending day to day and month to month. This way, when bills eventually come due, you'll be afraid to open them up and look at them. That's how you'll know that you've really succeeded in this area. Next, don't have any short-term savings or cash reserves whatsoever. If you do accidentally find yourself with some extra cash, it's going to get swallowed up and disappear into your massive debt load anyway. Capiche? Not having any cash reserves is important so that when an emergency occurs or you need to make a large purchase all of a sudden, you won't be able to pay for it. And if for some reason you have any money in retirement accounts, well, an emergency would be the time to go ahead and pull that money out to pay for the emergency. It's not going to do you any good in that retirement account anyway. But in general, not having anything in savings is a great way to pile on additional debt, financial worry, and hardship. Speaking of retirement accounts, do not save a dime into them. Those accounts are a complete scam, and the stock market, don't even get me started. It's basically a rigged casino, am I right? Plus, as soon as you put any money into your 401k or Roth IRA, it will be locked up and you won't be able to access it until you're old and gray. It just becomes useless to you. The thing is, retirement is so far away, and it's impossible to reach financial independence, so you're just going to be working forever anyway. So don't bother saving for retirement. Just work your job until you literally can't do it anymore, and Social Security will be there for you after that. Case closed. Next, I want to talk about keeping up with the Joneses, because I've noticed that a lot of people are falling behind in this area. You know the Joneses, don't you? The Joneses are your friends, family, or neighbors that are buying a lot of cool and expensive things, wearing a lot of name brand expensive clothing, and go on expensive vacations. And here's the thing, you have to keep up with them. It would be really embarrassing to look on Facebook or Instagram or even down the street and realize that your possessions and your vacations are not as nice. I mean, if you have any self-respect at all, you'll at least try to match their perceived level of spending, and hopefully you can even outdo it. This way, you'll fit in, make the Joneses jealous, and live the good life that you deserve. You work hard, so why shouldn't you have all the same things that the Joneses have? Just go ahead and inflate your lifestyle until that feeling of envy goes away. Next, outsource everything. Because you already work, right? Why are you going to spend your free time doing manual labor or learning how to do things yourself when you can just pay someone to get it done for you? What, are you going to work a full-time job and then come home and mow your lawn or clean your house? Those activities will just wear you out physically and cut into your Netflix time and your online shopping time. Life is too short. Hire people to do pretty much anything and everything. Even things that you know how to do and could do very easily, especially when it comes to your meals and food. You should be at the Starbucks drive-thru window every morning, eat lunch out almost every day, and order takeout and delivery for dinner, even though your refrigerator and freezer is full of food that is not getting any fresher. So pay others to take care of all your food needs, including your grocery shopping. I mean, DoorDash and Grubhub, these exist for a reason. So start taking advantage of this convenience. Never buy anything used. I don't even know what to say about this point. It's obvious, isn't it? Getting secondhand items is just gross. Plus, you don't really know what you're getting. If someone's selling it for cheap or giving it away, there must be something wrong with it. It's best to play it safe and buy everything you need brand new and pay full price from a big retailer. Can you believe people actually get things from Facebook Marketplace, Craigslist, Buy Nothing groups, or thrift stores? Ugh. And while we're on the topic of buying things, make impulse purchases and ignore the difference between needs and wants. There's a phrase that will really help you out in this area. You might want to write this down. Here's the phrase: see it, want it, buy it. Make this your new mantra. For example, a new smartphone is announced. It's got a slightly better screen and camera. See it, want it, buy it. Opt for the biggest screen and biggest storage option available. That way you'll have the absolute best until next year. This works for bigger purchases too, like a house. When buying a house, you're going to want to go for the biggest house on the block with the best finishes. Opt for a kitchen that is absolutely perfect and in style for 2024. That look will never go out of style, so you'll never have to be jealous of your neighbor's kitchen. Of course, you're going to need a house big enough for a family of 3 or 4 to each have their own living spaces, so go for 4 to 5 bedrooms minimum in case you ever have visitors or more kids. So yeah, you should own as much house as possible with a jumbo mortgage. And of course, a house that size will be too big to clean yourself, so of course, hire that out too. Hire a house cleaning service to come every week or two and clean up your mess. As for a vehicle, it doesn't matter what your driving habits are, where you live, or how big or small your family is. Buy a really big SUV or pickup truck. All-wheel drive, of course. Something that runs very inefficiently and is large enough to easily kill anyone outside the vehicle, even at low speed. Basically, look for the biggest and heaviest metal cage out there so that when you go pick up a few things at the grocery store, you'll be fully protected. Who cares about anyone else that uses the streets? The ideal vehicle will be bloated in size and price. Stretch for something with a minimum MSRP of $60,000 because you work hard and deserve something really big and really nice. And besides, once every month or so, you might even load up the whole family with some outdoor adventure toys and drive really far away to have a couple hours of fun. Of course, you'll want to finance this vehicle. Rates are a little high right now, so go ahead and finance the vehicle over a really long period of time. Did you know that you can get 7 or even 10-year car loans now? Look into that. See if you can get yourself locked into a loan like that as soon as possible. Since your vehicle will be so enormous, and since your oversized 2 or 3 car garage will already be full of impulse purchases and toys for the whole family, well, you won't have the space to fit the vehicle inside there. So go ahead and pay monthly rent for a storage unit off the interstate to securely store your possessions. If you find that you actually need to use any of that stuff, don't worry. You've got that enormous vehicle which will allow you to haul your stuff back and forth between the storage unit and your home. And the last thing I want to mention is that to stay on this track for as long as possible and ruin your financial life thoroughly, you should ignore any opportunities to improve your financial literacy. Don't become informed about personal finance or investing, and definitely don't watch this video about how to reach financial independence and retire early. Many people say they want to retire early and achieve financial freedom, but few people will actually do it. Because if you actually want to achieve something that most people won't achieve, you have to do what most people won't do.